Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And hope you're having a wonderful start to your day. And we appreciate you coming on when you get your notifications that we're on here for Q&A Friday. Okay, let's see who's with us this morning. Let me see. I can see Brahim. How are you? Andrea from Niagara Falls. Nice to have you on. Lynn from Aurora. Good morning. Rosalinda from Niagara Falls. Joss from Sturgeon Falls. Sandy, Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Janice from Brampton. Yvonne, how are you? Carol, West Virginia. Rosa, Montreal. Lorraine, good morning from British Columbia. Linda, St. Jude, Quebec. Judy, New Brunswick. Nice to have you on. Shirley, how are you? Brahim having his coffee. Fran, I see ya. Orangeville. Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Hi, Bruno. Kevin, there he is, the mayor of our group. From Oshawa. Elaine, Heidi from Sudbury. How are you, Heidi? Dave, Muskoka, Nellie, good morning to you. Cecilia, Nouveau Brunswick, and Frida in Devlin. Hi, John from Elgin, Illinois. Gail from Blenheim. How are you? Millicott from Stouffville. There's our friend Keith. Good morning, Keith. How are you? Nellie, we love you. John and Linda from Fenland Falls, good morning. IT from Unionville. Gloria from New York. Natalie, how is you? And Brahim saying it's 60 degrees. So I'll tell you, it's freezing everywhere else. Leela, Debbie, how are you from New Brunswick? Gail from Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Yvonne from Petawawa. And Patricia, how are you? Cheryl, we love you dearly. Darlene from Alberta, good morning to you. Teresa from Calgary, Alberta. And Fran is saying, nice to be seen. Dennis, asking me how I am doing. I'm wonderful. Rhoda, Mary, Dale, Courtright, Ontario, thanks for coming. Hi, Bev. I want the doc to sing my name. Kathy, Port Perry. Linda, another. Hi, Karen from Sault Ste. Marie. And two Karens in a row, one from Peterborough. Vince, how are you? And Catherine from Springdale. Okay. Hi, Marl from Ottawa. We love you dearly. Okay. Debbie from Windsor. Good morning to you. And Joan. Okay, we better, if we don't get going, guys, we ain't going to... Roxanne, how are you? Denise. We don't get going, we're never going to get through these questions. We got lots of them, okay, which we appreciate big time. Okay, let me get to the first one. This is from Chantal. Okay, what is, she's asking, I think, two questions. What is something natural you can take when there's protein in your urine? Well, look. If you got protein in your urine, it means that your kidneys are under stress. For what reason? Well, let me see. You give me any clues? Well, you got pulmonary hypertension. So that can be a reason you got protein in your urine. You have possibly lupus. Okay, from lupus. You got lupus? Well, medication can do that. Medication can put a lot of strain on your kidneys. And one of the best things you can do for your kidneys, we talked about this week, the biggest strain on kidneys, I mean, look, medications, especially Advil, one of the worst for kidneys. Medications are hard on kidneys. I mean, it's one of the, hard on liver, hard on kidney, just about invariably. The body has to deal with that. The best thing you can do when you got strain on your kidneys, cut out the sugar, Chantal. Cut out the sugar in your diet. You have no idea how good that is for your kidneys, number one. Number two, drink water. Kidneys are the Niagara Falls. Ask Rosalinda, ask my crew from Niagara Falls, the kidneys of Canada. Water, 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 water. It's amazing how water helps to detox the kidneys. If you have protein in your urine, your kidneys are stressed. It's as simple as that. It's not coming from eating protein. It usually comes from eating sugar. But if you're on meds, yep, that's one of the reasons for sure. Now, supplement-wise that help, I love Navitol because it elevates nitric oxide. It opens up the blood vessels. Remember, kidneys, blood supply. Eyes, blood supply. Okay? Blood supply. And sugar destroys blood vessels. So lay off the sugar. I love Navitol. Really, I like high DHA because DHA, what it does, it lubricates. It gives your blood vessels a lubrication. And you bring your car in for an oil change, your body needs it too. Okay, let me see here. And we'll get to another question. That was Chantal. Thank you, Chantal. Okay, this is Jean. She had UTIs and okay, and she's into hyperthyroidism. It looks like. Okay, so can you get out of hyperthyroid? Well, I'll tell you one of the things, okay? So when I look at the thyroid gland, you guys know this if you followed me for any length of time at all, because I always look at a big picture. The thyroid is a puppet. A lot of strings attached to it. Unfortunately, most physicians, they isolate the thyroid and they don't think about your adrenals, which are very much connected. Because if your cortisol is high, if your stress hormone is high, that it robs progesterone. Okay? So now that can imbalance your ovaries in a woman, because that's what cortisol does. And when you have a balance there and estrogen is more dominant than progesterone, it messes up the thyroid, either hypo or hyper. Now, you might have an autoimmune disorder that can do that too, right? You have Graves, that's hyper, right? Hashimoto's, hypo, and it's the thyroid, attacking itself. Autoimmune, attacking itself. But there's a lot of strings attached. So this is why, you can come out of hyperthyroidism. Like I know medicine, they want to, they often try and blast the thyroid away, either through radiation or medication. And I'm, without knowing all the details, it's hard for me to answer that, but I really want you to look, Jean, at all those options. And one of the things I found, okay, any autoimmune, by the way, if it is autoimmune, starts in the gut, leaky gut, leaky thyroid. Okay, fix that. We talked about it this week. Again, sugar really messes up hormones. So just be careful. Like you got to eat anyways. Cut out the sugar in your diet. And, you might want to dim the estrogen down and take care of that stress hormone. Okay. Let me get to another one here. That was Jean. Thank you. What's Dr. Martin? This is Carmen. What's Dr. Martin's opinion on HRT, hormone replacement therapy? Well, do you really want to know? I did HRT naturally. Okay? naturally with bioidentical hormones. I was a hormone doctor, okay? Like, I would draw a pyramid for my patients. And I said, you're going to fall in this category for me just about invariably, right? Thyroid, pancreas, insulin, which is a hormone, right? The two circles on the outside, the adrenals, adrenal on top of kidneys, releasing cortisol, and then estrogen, progesterone, the other two circles, and in the middle, testosterone for men. I said, you're going to fall into that category in this pyramid, and they are all connected. So we got to fix that. So I didn't like synthetic HRT, okay? The birth control pill, giving women estrogen, synthetic. I never liked it. I always spoke against it. And to me, you ain't a horse. And they give you synthetic horse's urine. You know, estrogen made out of that. You ain't a horse. So I like natural balancing. Again, looking at the whole picture from food to cleaning out the liver, because that's where a lot of hormones are made and transported by your cholesterol. Looking at lowering the cortisol, lowering women way too much estrogen, even in post-menopause, or menopause, or perimenopause. Way too much estrogen compared to progesterone. So I used to balance that out. So I don't like synthetic. I really don't like synthetic hormone replacement therapy. I find it very dangerous. And I would never recommend giving estrogen to anybody. There's way too much xenoestrogens in the world today. So you're surrounded by estrogen. And estrogen is a growth hormone. Okay? It's a growth hormone, and I don't like it. It makes cancer grow. Okay. Hold on a minute here. Let me get to... That was Carmen. Thanks, Carmen. Sherry. Oh, I could sing. Sherry says, I've heard that you should not take supplements continuously. Yeah, I know there are people out there saying that. I take supplements every day. Okay? And Sherry, you don't get used to supplements. Not if they're the right supplement. I've been doing this for a long time, almost 50 years. And I've been taking supplements. By the way, 80% of the population take a supplement. You know, medicine makes it look like, well, your urine is going to be expensive. Because they don't know anything about it. They don't study it. They don't even study vitamin C, and they should. They don't study vitamin D, and they should. Right? Look, I take vitamin D every day. I take probiotics every day. My body get, you know, when you look at numbers of probiotics, like we got trillions of bacteria. Trillions. And I take high DHA every day. I see it as an investment. You know, you got investments in the bank? Well, good for you. And I mean that. You got a pension? Good for you. I'm happy. But if you're not healthy, I know that. Look, I think I don't understand. I've been around the block a lot of times. I understand people financially and all this and that. And I said, well, I'm making an investment. For me, one of my biggest concerns, Sherry, is my brain. I need it. So do you. I never want to lose it, right? And, I think I said it this week. I'm not looking for quantity in life. I'm looking for quality. And I'm a researcher in a sense that I read everything I can, and I had clinical experience. And I can just tell you, people don't get used to supplements. Do you get used to eating steak every day and then your body said, don't give me that? It's good for you. You could eat it. I'm not saying you will. I'm just saying you could. You can have an egg every day, every day. Will your body get used to it? So supplements are just that, like vitamin D, you need it. If you can't get in the sun, I recommend everybody and their dog take vitamin D. I recommend everybody and their dog take probiotics. And I have for years and years and years. Very consistent about it. So, I get asked this quite a bit, Sherry, so I appreciate the question. Big time. But I know you hear that. But I look at it as an investment in my health. That's the way I look at supplements. Okay. Thanks you for the question, Sherry. Much appreciated. Hi, Bev. You asking the question. Can Dr. Martin talk about sugar alcohol, and is it okay to use for baking? Well, look, sugar alcohols like erythritol and maltitol, anything when you see an OL, right, have been around for years, sugar alcohols, okay? They're not sugar and they're not alcohols, but they call them sugar alcohols, okay? And, well, somebody, let me answer this question too, because somebody asked the question. I want to get this one in too, if I can find it. Somebody asked about what would happen, if I'm not mistaken here. I don't know, I can't find it. And I think it asked, what would happen if can I overdose on a stevia? Like that's a sweetener. It's not a sugar alcohol. It comes from a plant. Yeah, you can overdose on it in the sense that you'd probably get a lot of digestive issues. That's the problem with sugar alcohols too. A lot of people don't digest them properly because their body, the body looks at it and goes, what is that? It's a little bit of a foreign agent to it. And on erythritol, it's one where it doesn't elevate insulin. So, but I limit those things. I really do. It's one of the things that I don't like about keto. When they talk about keto foods, a lot of them are sweetened with sugar alcohols, and a lot of people got trouble with that. And I like whole foods. I like eggs. I like meat. I like dairy, like cheese. Okay? And butter. And cream. Your body knows what to do with that stuff. Okay? So, you know what? I used to say, I haven't talked about maple syrup in a long time. Okay? If you're going, and this is what I used to tell my patients, because, especially for children, I said, I want you to give this kid, because, when did we talk about this? Yesterday or the day before? Yeah, sugar in kids. And we talked about behavior and cognitive. Like they become the Tasmanian devils with sugar, right? I saw thousands of those kids over the years. And I used to tell them, okay, I'm going to give you something. You're going to think you're at McDonald's when you have Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie. So I would teach the parents how to make that child a smoothie before they went to school in the morning. And I said, make it delicious, okay? So heavy cream, because it's really good for your brain. Yeah, fat is good for your brain. I said, heavy cream, put a few berries in there, and put some maple syrup in there. Honey, too, if you want to like natural, local honey if you can get it, but maple syrup, a little bit of that. Like, don't overdo it. 93% of the population have trouble with insulin. So yeah, I want you to be more careful. But if you're going to sweeten anything, use maple syrup. Because there's a lot of nutrients in maple syrup. Okay? Or like the real good non-pasteurized honey. Because it's got a lot of nutrients in there. The Bible talks about honey, okay? But for kids, make it delicious for them. Because they're going to want it. Okay? My grandkids used to say, Grandpa, can you make me a smoothie? Okay. Good question. Okay, hold on a minute here. Whoop. There we go. Okay, and that was, wait a minute. I scrolled all the way down, and now I lost where I was. Okay, and that was, wait a minute here. My word. That was Bev. Bev, I had to scroll all the way to the top to get back up to see your name here. John started the reset on January 1st. Well, good for you, John. We appreciate that. Well, good for you. It's good for you. No doubt about it. Okay, what's your question, John? Let me get to it. He developed a sore throat, and after losing 8 pounds, well, you know what, John? It really had nothing to do with that. I mean, it really didn't. Okay? It had nothing to do with the reset and losing weight. And I'll tell you, when you lost 8 pounds, you didn't lose any muscle with the reset. If you're eating eggs, meat, and cheese, you're not. And, the question you're asking, let me see here. Changing fuels. Would that decrease my D3 levels? Well, were you taking vitamin D? Okay. Oh, yeah. You've been taking 10,000 IUs. Nah. What I would recommend, John, if that sore throat is still around, do the hammer for 3 days. Vitamin D, this is Dr. Martin's hammer of vitamin D. Okay? 50,000 IUs for 3 days. 50,000 IUs a day for 3 days. Don't worry, you're not going to overdose. That's all made up. Okay? All made up. No, John, it just happens. I mean, people that tell me they never get sick. They never get sick. Like, you're a rare breed. And good for you. I'm happy for you. But most people get a bug or get a cold or get a flu. And, I don't worry so much about that. What I really want people to do is have their immune system on high alert and working very well. And, every once in a while, you might be under the weather. It's not the end of the universe. You're recharging your batteries of your immune system to some extent, right? So, anyway, wear your invisible mask. John, vitamin A. Eat steak, eggs, meat, and cheese. Okay. And that was John, our dear friend. Jackie, can Dr. Martin speak about Candida albicans? I do almost every day. An allergy to Candida albicans. Well, I would like to know, Jackie, how you know that you're allergic to Candida albicans. Because Candida albicans is inside your body, right? Candida's inside your body. You get a fungus, a yeast. That's what Candida albicans is. Everybody's got Candida albicans. And I'd like to, if you have more information, would you send it to info@martinclinic.com? Just give me more information on that, because Everybody's got some candida in them. It's when you get an overgrowth of candida. And remember, I talk about this all the time. I have hats, I have t-shirts that say, don't feed the bears. Sugar feeds Candida albicans. If you have an allergy to Candida, okay, you probably have some form of major leaky gut if you have that allergy. Okay? To be honest, I'd never heard of that before. In all the years I've been around, nobody's ever asked me, and I mean it. I'm allergic. Now, you can be allergic to mold, which is the cousin of Candida. But to be allergic to Candida albicans, I've never heard of it. I never have heard of it. But there's 8 billion people on I used to say 7, but in May of 2023, we hit 8 billion on the planet. There's 8 billion people on the planet. And you know what? Stick your thumb up. Nobody's got your fingerprint. Just you. That don't make you weird. It makes you unique. And maybe you do have a real allergy to Candida albicans. But I got to tell you, in 50 years, I've never heard that. But I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying I never heard of it. But remember, everybody's got Candida. Everybody has some Candida in their body. Everybody has yeast inside their body. When it's under control and you got the right microbiome, you're all right. It's when you don't. Now, guys, I got to cut this one short today, okay? Got to cut this one short. But we're going to do it Monday. We're going to go back to Q&A on Monday, okay? And finish up these. Sorry for that, but I have a pressing appointment that I have to get to. So, guys, we love you dearly. Thanks for coming on. We promise we'll get to the rest of the questions, okay? We'll talk to you soon.